The Tesla gun experiment was definitely explosive with new revelations, and that was even more evident as Eric processed the collective data. Guys, we saw so many striking images this evening, so much great data, but when you started looking at what was captured via the rockets, it really became next level. We were seeing consistency in terms of how they're being directed and what that means and where we think that leads us.
You're speaking of the high-speed video record that we now have of the rocket launches after having energized that space with the Tesla apparatus. And again, what were we looking for? We were looking for changes in the trajectory of the rockets. You know, we are accustomed to seeing what we call a dogleg on launch. Would we see more of that? Would we see less of that? Or would we see the rockets destroyed?
Or something else.
Or something else.
You see one goes to about the 31-foot mark and turns to the east and then kind of straightens up, right? And then another one looks like it goes maybe to the south, but it literally just goes up and around that spot. All consistently went around the spot that we call the blob area. All of them turn and then come back to the original trajectory, like they'd just gone around a curve in the road, which is really odd. And can I say that the Tesla coil made it more of a factor than not? I don't know. I think we'd have to do like 100 launches with and without and see which ones did it more often. But it did seem to make it consistent.
Theoretically, could you imagine a scenario where you launched a bunch of rockets in a tight circle right below what you think the blob is, and it would almost kind of map out that space for you in a way?
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I would love to do that. You know, we tried to do something similar to that a couple years ago, and for some reason, all of the launch systems were thwarted and confused, and we were only able to launch one rocket at a time. So I think we've got to come up with a way to do that where, I mean, this experiment compels us to do that, right? And it also maybe compels us to find a way to put a Tesla coil there and leave it on while the rockets are launching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of things we got to do.
Love it. It occurs to me tonight, we're at the halfway point of this year. And I'm wondering how you feel science is progressing you along this journey. And can science give you the upper hand on whatever this phenomenon is? Can it give you the true answers at the end of the day?
Well, by upper hand, to me, that means more answers, more understanding, and the only way to do that is to follow the scientific method and put one foot in front of the other, take one measurement after the next, one measurement after the next. I mean, wouldn't you think so, Eric?
Well, you know, it's hard to clearly identify an alternative to what Travis just described. You know, I mean, this is what we do, although we do make provisions for what we might consider intuitive leaps, inspiration, if you will. Not every success is reached by an exclusively deductive pathway, but for the most part, I think, you know, we are going to continue making progress by applying the tools and methods of science.